Hey friends, and welcome back. Today I'm doing something a little different.
Hi guys, today we're gonna make some cookies. Okay, the phone. Hi guys, today we're gonna make some cookies. We have the wood. And we have this. I don't see it, you can see it there.
So I had a DIY plan for you guys, but it has been rainy and yucky all week, so my little here wanted to make some cookies, so I thought I would share with you our favorite vegan shortbread recipe. I am having the recipe as we make it, but I will tell you guys the full recipe. So the full recipe calls for 2 sticks of vegan butter. Again, we're having it, so I put in 1 stick. You want unsalted vegan butter, and you just want to put that in your electric mixer and beat it until it is really creamy. Once your butter gets all creamy, you want to add 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. And then you're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is optional, but we also really like to use almond extract instead of vanilla. Then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then you're going to slowly incorporate 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And this is going to make your cookie dough. So I just add a little bit and mix it with the mixer and add a little bit more until all of it is incorporated into the dough. You want to make sure that you're scraping the sides of your bowl as you're mixing it so all of the flour is getting incorporated. And if you want to add some vegan chocolate chips, you can do that now. We didn't this time, but we have before, and either way is totally delicious. Now you're going to want to use a spoon or a spatula or your hands to work the dough together into a ball or a disc. I like to put them into my refrigerator in like a disc type shape. So here I am just kind of shaping it all together into that disc, and I'm going to wrap it in some plastic wrap. You can use wax paper if you want to, and just wrap it up and pop it in your refrigerator to chill for at least 15 or 30 minutes. I usually put it in there for 30 minutes. And while I have it in the refrigerator chilling, I go ahead and I preheat my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. After our dough is done chilling, I go ahead and take it out, and I'm just using our cutting board to roll on here, and I'm just putting a little bit of flour so our dough doesn't stick. It's kind of like the consistency of like kinetic sand or like wet sand. You just kind of like smush it back together and it stays together fine. So I'm just smushing it all together, and then I'm going to use my rolling pin to roll them out, and you want them to be about 1/4 inch thickness. Again, I do want to remind you that we have halved this recipe, so if you follow the whole recipe, you're going to have a lot more dough than you see here. I just find that halving it gives us kind of the perfect amount of these smaller sized cookies to last throughout the week, and then we don't have a bunch of extra cookies lying around, although that wouldn't be necessarily a problem. They would be eaten. So my helper here is just helping me cut out our little heart shapes for Valentine's Day, and I'm using a silicone baking mat to bake these on. These are great. This is the first, I got them over the holiday season, and it's the first kind of holiday season, first year I've used these, and they are amazing. I'll link them in the description box for you guys too, because I just love them. So we are just cutting out our hearts, and they very easily just pop on over to our baking sheet. I found this recipe over at Sugar Spun Run, and I will link the recipe link down for you guys below so you can check it out in its entirety. So now we just kind of balled the rest of our dough back up again, and Ayla is rolling it out so we can cut out some more cookies. I honestly don't know if this is a 1/4 inch thickness, but they look good to me. I just kind of eyeball it every time, and they turn out great. The bonus about this being a vegan cookie recipe is that the cookie dough is also vegan, so when you have a little left over, you can go ahead and eat that too, and it tastes like cake pops. So here are my cookies. We ended up with 28 total cookies, and again, that's with the recipe halved, and we're gonna pop them in our 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes. I find that mine need about 2 more minutes extra to kind of really be brown around the edges. These are them at 15 minutes, and some of them are a little brown, but not all of them. So I usually just kind of turn the oven off and put them back in for like 2 minutes, and that's fine. And here they are. Ayla approves. I approve. These are great cookies. I love them so much. If you wanted to, you could add like some chocolate drizzle to them. We've also just used like icing for them and just ice them and add sprinkles on top. They're a really great cookie, and they hold their shape with these smaller shapes, and they hold their shape with those bigger shapes too without really spreading. Thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, you can find more from us here. Make sure you subscribe so you can follow all of our adventures. Tap that bell, give it a big thumbs up, and let me know down in the comments if you have any vegan cookie recipes that you absolutely love. Bye, guys.